So guys, as you might have seen, train is back into the map pool and they changed a lot of things. So for example, there's no ladder anymore to go down to Pop Dog. You now have to go through this hole here and then make it down the stairs to actually get into Pop Dog. And they changed a lot of things on Ivy as well, and I will show you that in the beginning of the video, and then I will show you what I think the meta is going to be look like, so how you want to play this map, at least in the early stages. And then I will do something very interesting, I think, to you. I will show you how I think the meta will develop on this map, and will try to explain my thought process as good as I can, so you can actually understand how different layers of gameplay can develop over time and how people start thinking about countering certain stuff. And yeah, I think this will be extremely valuable to any of you that is trying to improve their game and is actually trying to get their game sense and understanding of the game to the next level. First of all, let's have a look. The map looks quite moody, so it's a little bit darker. It kind of suits the theme of the map. Now T main looks pretty much the same. The A side is a lot different, so they're no longer these lines where the CTs can watch. You can still run here on the ground line, but as you can see, your vision is completely locked. You can only move out here towards the right side, and from here you can watch the main. And then Ivy is a little bit more spacious, but in general pretty much the same. Now, one of the biggest changes that I showed you already is the Pop Dog change. So now you have to go down here, and Pop Dog is actually not very short anymore, and it's actually called Long Dog. I think I saw it on Reddit, where the standard names that you can find under your radar, it actually says Long Dog now, which I personally think is pretty funny. On the B side, a lot of new stuff. There's this building here on the left side, so you can no longer watch Heaven from here. Then the ramp here is pretty much the same. The bomb side pretty much looks the same. You can still get on top of this train here. You can throw flashes or nades through the window here, like so. That's still possible. The top part here also looks pretty much the same. Yeah, nothing really changed here. There's still these angles where you can play from far back here. There's a very interesting angle that I saw earlier, which is from here, and you're covered now. If you want to get up here, I think the fastest way will be to just come on top of the train here, and then you can just jump on top of the left side here and then make it towards the top part here. And yeah, I think that's enough for the layout. Let's get into the most important stuff, how the map is going to be played, or how I think the map is going to be played. If you have the top spawn on the T side here and you run towards the main, you can actually jump out here and make it towards the red train here, because the CT that has the best spawn would just catch you while you're jumping across. So if they don't have the best spawn, there's no way they can see you from coming out of T main. And obviously there's still flashes, simple flashes like this that you can do as a T. And then anyone that's coming here on the left side, as you can see, will get completely blinded by this flash. As a T, I think if the CTs don't have a lot of utility, you just go out A fast every round. You just come out here and then try to make it towards the train here, and you will have a smoke for this position here. And this one is actually pretty simple. You can do two instant versions of this if you have this or this one. If you get the first one, so the one in front, just have a look at this one plank here and then aim a little bit towards the left side and do a W jump throw, and then the smoke is going to fly like so, landing like this. And if you have the second spawn, just aim at the tip of this one plank here and then again just do a W jump throw, and then this smoke is going to land like so, giving you pretty much the same smoke. And then when you're coming out T-main, you can simply just do a molly like so, which will deny any CT from playing behind the side here or playing on top of the side, holding an angle like this. And then you just try to make it towards this side here and try to take any duels. This will be smoked, this will be mollied. So there's a lot of freedom for you to move out here. And it would be very good if you have a teammate that can just do a simple flash like so, and then you just try to take some duels. Obviously, there are ways to counter this as a CT and make it harder for the Ts, but I will get into that later. So this is pretty pretty huge to understand. If you have good spawn and especially if the CTs don't have good utility, always try to come out here and always try to smoke this and then look for fights. The most important flash you have to know is simple. You just get generally in this area, have a look at the sign, aim towards the top right corner of it, and then just do simple flashes like this. And these flashes will blind anyone that's playing in an area like this, will blind anyone that's trying to play around the train like this. It will blind anyone that's coming out of this area here trying to fight this. Obviously we want to have this smoked at some point, as I showed you earlier. So if someone is moving through the smoke, he will get completely blinded by this flash. Now let's talk about the B side, because I think a lot of things changed here. The meeting point for the CTs and the Ts is pretty much here. So if the Ts reach this point here, the best CT spawn reaches this point here. This means that a CT could potentially, if the Ts don't stop the CT from coming up here, a CT could actually throw a molly like this and maybe a smoke like this, and then block the Ts from getting into pop dog through this way here, if the Ts play pretty slow and allow him to do that. I personally think if Ts allow you to do that, then you can get away with it, but Ts shouldn't really allow that to be happening. So what you should be doing as a T, I think, is to come up here the stairs, and then you use the molly like this, where you just aim roughly towards this line here, go a little bit towards the right and do a left and right click. And then once you pass this imaginary line, you just release the molly. So it's going to look something like this. And then you can even add a simple flash like so. And this will completely block the CT from coming up here. With this combo, it basically allows you to just come down here and make it into the pop dog area like so. If any CT decides to come up here, there is an angle that they can hold. But if you have a good spawn, you will be already past this angle here. So by using this combo, it's extremely simple for you to just get into the pop dog area like this. For Ivy, I think it's pretty much the same. Nothing really changed here early. I think the main focus of the A side will be through T main here and not pop dog. I think T main will be the main focus point. One of the first things that you will probably want to do as a CT is a smoke like this and a molly like so, which will block off T main and molly this position. So anyone that's coming out T main fast will be forced into more of an aggressive position. And then one of the ground line players can just leave a flash like so, which will completely blind anyone that's coming out here. And now let's actually get into the part where I explain to you how I think the meta will develop. So as we said, the CT will probably smoke this here and molly early against the wall. So if I'm coming out of T main, I can stand here. This will probably mean that the CTs might start using double Molotovs. So there's no option for any T to be here on the right side. So now they're forced more into the left side area here. If I'm coming out as a T and I'm kind of forced to move out more towards the left side area, yes, I can have an instant smoke that lands here. But this can, first of all, this can be broken and people can actually play in front of it by just pathing towards this area here. So what I would probably do as a T is I would want to have a smoke that lands roughly in this area here. So it gives me some space. So even if this is completely mollied here, I can move out here and move into a position like this and have a lot of freedom to play around. And I think this is probably what's going to happen. There is probably a smoke that you can do. Pretty simple one. A little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty close. There will be a smoke that you can do from spawn instantly that can land in a position like this. And then if you do this and this molly as a CT, you give the T a lot of like freedom to come out here. So what I think, if T start using the sandwich smoke again, it's probably going to be meta that CTs will use smoke like this, where they block this off and then they maybe smoke, they dodge the initial flash shot that comes coming through the roof, then they might just drop a flash like this. They know there's a smoke here, so they're free to move around and then just move into a position like this. CTs will, if the Ts do a smoke like this, CTs will for sure smoke this to find ways to block this, because if you just allow the Ts to safely come out here as a CT and just come down here and play like this, you're pretty much fucked. So CTs will 100% stop this by either smoking off this, maybe adding an additional Molotov to the left side here. So yeah, CTs will probably start using a smoke like this if this becomes an, obviously a better one, smoke that lands here. So even if there's a smoke here on this side, the CT can just path here, move through the first smoke, and then get into an area like this and hold control over this area. Maybe this means that Ts will actually start using a Molotov like this, but then CTs can still edge here, but maybe then Ts will start spamming this. So you can clearly see how this area of the map will be very, very important. Taking control or not allowing the Ts of getting further than this area, like as a CT, limiting the Ts to just be able to be in this area. And if you can, then even not allowing them to come out here. But if you cannot stop them from coming out, which I think you will not be able to do, you have to stop them from getting further control. Because if you allow them to get this control, then you're fucked. If they have this much control out on the A side, there's nothing you will do as a CT. You're pretty fucked then. Obviously, you could smoke them, like block them here, smoke them out. But I think at this point, they have too much control. So I think fighting over this will be the key here. Or another thing that could be happening is like trading map control. So you give up on this side here, but what you want to do, maybe they have a smoke that lands in T main like this, but it also maybe a little bit more here, it also blocks this area here, and then CTs will just double take control of Pop Dog, and then this space is no longer too valuable, because if these CTs block you from going deeper into this area, so maybe you have no option to go here, or maybe someone is even just holding it, maybe from here, then what you're gonna do with this map control, you have to get into the side. But if the CTs still have control over, there was an angle that people could play from like this, I think, but this is no longer the case. So let's see how this develops. But I think this area will be the most important area for the A side. And for the B side, as I explained earlier, I think there will be a way, or Ts will stop the CTs from coming up here. Obviously, there's still ways to deal with this. So you can maybe throw a smoke like this. So maybe you would just smoke the molly, then you move out here, and then you will get a flash from a teammate. So someone could be just standing here, aiming like this, and then just running and releasing a flash. Yeah, anyone that's coming down here will get completely blinded by this flash. And yeah, as a B player, I think you should stop. If the Ts don't pressure you, just take full control and just, yeah, the smoke will get cancelled. So you have to molly, smoke like this. I don't think this will be pretty much possible, because Ts will stop you, or at least come down fast here. So maybe drop a flash like this and then just try to fight you. If that's happening, I think you will have to stick to smoking or mollying this area, and you will probably need a teammate that flashes for you, so you can actually play here. So if you're playing train, just tell one of your teammates to rush up the stairs on the lower ramp, and then you just come towards this side here, aim towards the top of the 3, and just run forward and release the flash. And you pretty much start running when your teammate is in this area here, and then the flash is coming and he can peek with it. And again, anyone that's up here will get completely blinded. But so in general, you want to have 3 players at least towards the A side. The first one should always maybe start with the combo that I showed you earlier. Oh, I messed up the smoke. So just like this, probably messing it up again. Oh, that's fine. So like this, and in case the T start using a sandwich smoke, maybe not from spawn, maybe they just come down here. You don't actually have to jump because the CT will not be there. So you can just run down here and use a smoke like this. If you see the T is doing that, then you just drop a smoke like this, drop a flash like so, and just move through their smoke and take control. What the fuck am I getting stuck on? Okay, that's obviously something you need to be aware of. But then you move into a corner like this, and then you can have control over this area here and don't allow the CTs or the T, sorry, to take further control than just this area here. If you're going ground line, you should probably always start with a flash like this, just left and right click, and then you can look for any picks here. Obviously at some point there will be probably someone smoking this, so there's not much you can do besides maybe just coming into the corner here and then using a nade like so, and then just trying to go for a pick. That's something that you can probably do. But if the T's smoke this, there's probably not much that you can do besides flashing out here early, and then you have to move towards Ivy. You can try to hold a position like this, but then you can even move here and play a little bit around in this position here if you have an AWP. And then there should be a second A player that helps his teammate to block the T's from coming out. So maybe if the T's decide to smoke sandwich, you can just add an additional flash like so, or maybe even an HE like this to catch anyone that's coming here on the left side. Or if the T's don't do that, he can simply add the second Molotov, so you will have this smoke, this molly, and then it's just much harder for the T's to come out here, because if they move towards the left side here without a sandwich smoke, it's super easy for you to just move up the train here and then try to fight this. And then you would probably want to have the second A player that might be throwing the second molly, and the first one again is doing this. Then you want to have one of the players that comes towards the pop dog area, and then he might want to smoke off this so he can hold on to the pop dog area for a little bit longer. And then you want to play the B side a little bit more defensive, maybe from position like here, or playing behind side, probably playing it for retake. And then you have 4 guys onto the A side. Maybe 2 guys are playing close here, 1 guy is getting into pop, 1 is playing around this area here, and the third one is, or let's say probably 1 guy playing close pop dog, 1 guy playing towards this area here if he is forced to, and then 1 guy playing here a little bit more passive with the AWP. And then there will be 1 rotating player who can support his teammates by just flashing, for example, here towards Olaf. And then the first guy can just come here, wait for the flash, swing out, and yeah, stuff like this. If you ever want to go B, the first combo that you should know is this one, where you just smoke like this and maybe have a molly like so that lands on top of the train here. You can do one that lands closer towards the front, or one that lands towards to the back. And then you can have a flash like so, left and right click jump throw, which bounces like this, and this will totally blind anyone that's playing maybe here on top of the train, or maybe back here, depending on where you mollied. And then anyone that's playing on side here, maybe an angle like this, will get completely blinded from this as well. And usually what you want to have as well is a pretty like shallow close flash, so anyone that's playing close here will get completely blinded, or anyone that's playing even a position like this will get blinded as well. But generally going B, especially in pucks, is kind of hard to do unless you're playing pretty fast, because there's just so many positions that CTs can play from. Here, back behind the train, playing angles like this, and then watching heaven from time to time, playing a position like this, playing positions like this. Like, there's so many angles that CTs can be playing from, so it's generally pretty hard to do it in pucks. So most of the focus will be on the A side, and yeah, try out the things that I showed you earlier, and let's see how the meta will evolve. I'm very interested in what you guys think about these ideas. Let me know in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a nice day, guys. PS, don't forget my coaching. All of the information is down in the description below. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.